Hello everyone, I'm Nagpal. It is truly an honor to be here today as part of a UNESCO initiative on artificial intelligence and information accessibility. I come from a profession that has long been viewed as traditional, even conservative. I am a lawyer and a company secretary. My daily life revolves around statutes, contracts, compliance checklists, board meetings, and due diligence exercises. For many, this may sound like a world far removed from artificial intelligence. But my presence here today is proof that AI is no longer the exclusive domain of engineers and coders. It is reshaping even the most conventional professions, including law. When people think of law, they often imagine shelves of heavy books, fine print no one wants to read, and jargon that is deliberately hard to understand. Accessibility has always been law's Achilles heels, and yet law governs every aspect of life and business. If it is inaccessible, it creates a barrier to justice. That is why I see AI not just as a convenience but as a social equalizer. It allows us to break open closed rooms of knowledge and make them understandable to everyone. In my practice, I use AI as a bridge between the technicality of law and the practical needs of those who must live with it. Let me share how this works in my daily life, professional life. First, drafting and reviewing agreements. A typical shareholders agreement can run over 100 pages. Traditionally, a lawyer or an associate would take days to read it, line by line, identifying what's unusual, what's risky, and what could trap the client. Today, AI allows me to summarize such documents in minutes, highlighting clauses that deviate from standard practice. For example, in one transaction, AI instantly flagged an obscure line that shifted liability entirely onto the founder in case of tax claims. It would have taken hours for a human associate to catch it. AI did not make the decision for me, but it gave me the flashlight to see the risk clearly. I still had to argue, negotiate, and protect my client's interests, but I did it with better speed and sharper focus. Second, compliance management. In India, compliance is like a daily puzzle. Every company must file dozens of returns with the registrar of companies, the income tax department, the RBI, and other regulators. Missing just one can mean penalties. Traditionally, this meant frantic calls, thick compliance calendars, and the constant fear of a deadline slipping through the cracks. With I now build systems that track these obligations, send timely reminders, and explain requirements in plain English. A young founder can receive a simple AI generated note: your company must file Form MGT7 this month. This is your annual return, a snapshot of your company's shareholding and governance, and that's it. No jargon, no confusion, just clarity. This is information accessibility in its purest sense. Third, due diligence. In the world of investments, due diligence is king, but it is also the most exhausting part of legal work. Traditionally, teams of lawyers would spend weeks buried in documents, scanning leases, employment contracts, and board minutes to identify hidden risks. With I can upload entire data rooms and receive a structured summary of red flags in hours. I recall a case where AI highlighted that a critical intellectual property license was missing renewal. Catching that early saved my client both money and future litigation. This does mean AI replaces my this does not mean that AI replaces my judgment. It amplifies it. Instead of drowning in paper, I can swim straight to the insights. Fourth, client education. Many of my clients are startup founders, often brilliant technologists, but new to the world of law. Terms like ESOP, liquidation preference, convertible notes sound alien to them. In the past, I would spend hours simplifying these concepts, often repeating myself across different clients. Now I use AI to create guides that explain these concepts in everyday language. For example, I once asked AI to explain liquidation preference in the style of a cricket analogy, and it worked. The founder finally understood that investors, like batsmen with extra life, get to recover their money before anyone else does. That moment of clarity was priceless. Fifth, knowledge management. Law firms, even small ones, generate a mountain of precedents, templates, and advisory notes. Searching through them was once painful. With AI powered search, I can find exactly what I need in seconds. A client asks, how did we draft the non compete clause in the last deal last year? In the past, I would send an intern into the abyss of files. Now I simply ask AI and it retrieves the precedent instantly. Efficiency is not just about saving time, it is about ensuring no knowledge ever goes unused. Sixth, strategy and decision making. Beyond the mechanical tasks, AI helps me think strategically by analyzing trends in judgments or regulatory updates. It helps me anticipate how laws are evolving. For example, when Indian courts started leaning towards stricter enforcement of shareholder rights, AI tool helped me map that trend quickly. This allowed me to advise my clients to renegotiate their contracts proactively. Accessibility here is not just about understanding today's law, but about peeking into tomorrow's direction. Now, let me also share some humor because lawyers need it more than anyone. I often tell my clients earlier you needed a lawyer, a CS, a CA, and maybe even an astrologer to run a business in India. Now, with AI, at least we can finally retire the astrologer. It makes them laugh, but the point is serious. AI reduces uncertainty, it brings predictability to a world full of complexity. Of course, with all these advantages comes responsibilities. As lawyers, we deal with sensitive data, contracts, financials, shareholder disputes. Using AI does not mean abandoning confidentiality. It means being careful, anonymizing data, and ensuring that machines never substitute human judgment. The ethical layer cannot be compromised. Accessibility without trust is dangerous. So, what does AI for information accessibility ultimately mean to me? It means that a young founder sitting in a small Indian town can understand the same investment document that a Silicon Valley entrepreneur reads. It means compliance is no longer a privilege for large corporations with big law firms, but to process every small business can understand. It means legal services can shift from being intimidating to being empowering. I want to close with a bigger thought. At its heart, law is meant to empower. It, if ordinary citizens cannot understand their rights and duties, law fails in its purpose. UNESCO's mission of information accessibility ties directly to this principle because inaccessible information creates inequality. Accessible information builds justice. Artificial intelligence is not just a tool of efficiency, it is a tool of inclusion. It brings light into dark corners of knowledge, and in doing so, it strengthens democracy, enterprise, and society. So, yes, I am a lawyer who spends part of the day with algorithms, but I believe if AI can make the law more accessible, it can make justice more real. And that to me is the most powerful case for why we must embrace AI thoughtfully. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my journey. And if anyone wants to know how to survive both regulators and investors with a little help from AI, my door is always open. Thank you so much.